Sketch the lines through the point with the given slopes. The point we are given is -2, 4. So I've plotted that here. From the origin, you go left 2, up 4. Now our first slope given is +2. 2 is the same thing as 2 divided by 1. Slope is the vertical change of a line over the horizontal change of a line. So if we make a vertical change of +2, and then a horizontal change of only 1, that puts us at this location. Connecting those two dots gives us this line that's sloped upwards, that's positively sloped with a numerical value of 2, specifically because there's a rise to run ratio of 2 to 1. The next slope we're given is -3/2. Going back to -2, 4, -3/2, the vertical change is down 3, the horizontal change is over 2. Plot that point, so you go from -2, 4, down 3, over 2, plot another point, connect those two, and you get this line. Undefined slope. A fraction is undefined when its denominator is 0, meaning the horizontal change has to be 0. If you don't have horizontal change, then all you have is a vertical line. It has no side-to-side change. Zero slope, the top of a fraction being 0 gives it a value of 0 overall, and that means there's no vertical change. Vertical would mean you have some up and down fluctuation, but if the vertical change has to be 0 in order for this fraction to be 0 overall, that forces you into a horizontal line through the point -2, 4. Estimate the slope of the line. Now we'll do this in a couple of ways. One way is by picking out two specific points, and I went ahead and labeled 3 for you in class. You can pick any 2 points that are on a line. Investigate the vertical change from one dot to the next. Now from this dot to this dot, which would also be the same as that dot to that dot, you have to change by a vertical unit of 4 units. Your horizontal change is 3 units. And because slope is vertical change over horizontal change, 4/3 is the slope of this line. You can also use a slope formula. The difference in your y-coordinates gives you the vertical change. The difference in your x-coordinates gives you the horizontal change. Okay, so if I stick with these 2 points, my vertical change will be 4 minus 0, which is 4. My horizontal change will be 3 minus 0, which is 3, for a ratio of 4/3. For linear equations of the form y equals m times x plus b, the slope of the line is m. It'll be the coefficient of x, and the y-intercept is the point 0b, where b is the constant. Give the slope and y-intercept of the line and then graph it. Well, our equation is y equals 4x plus 3, so that tells us our slope is 4. 4 is the same as 4 over 1. Our constant is +3, so our y-intercept is 0, 3. Plot your y-intercept and then count off your slope, up 4 over 1. That gives you a second location to connect, and you'll get your graph of your line. Plot your y-intercept first, then count off your slope. That's location number 2. Connect the dots. The next equation, we have y equals -1/3 x minus 2. Our slope is -1/3. Our y-intercept is -2. The point 0, -2. Plot your y-intercept first. So if we go down to 0, -2, that's our concrete point. We've got to go through there. From there, if we go down 1 over 3, that's our second location. Connect those two dots, and you've got the graph of your line. The graph of a line is the visual connection of all ordered pairs that satisfy the equation. There's way too many to list, so the graph is the visual connection of all ordered pairs that satisfy your equation. If your equation only contains the variable y equals a constant, you can write that in the form y equals 0x plus 3, because all you really have to have is y equals 3. The slope being 0 tells us we're going to have a horizontal line that goes through the y-axis at 0, 3. So let's plot the point 0, 3 and just connect a horizontal line through there. Notice that no matter what point on the line you pick, it will always have a y-coordinate of 3. The x variable can fluctuate because there's no x to pin down. The other end of the spectrum is if you only have x equals a constant. Now for these, you have an undefined slope because your line will be vertically oriented. If you pick out 2 or 3 points that have 3 as the x value, like 3, 0, 3, 4, 3, 7, those points will line up vertically. There is no y-intercept, and we have undefined slope, and so this is the vertical line case. X equals a constant. And finally, if you're asked to come up with the slope and y-intercept for a linear equation, and you don't have y equals mx plus b form, that's okay. Take your equation, 3x plus 4y equals 4 in this problem. Solve it for y. So what we'll do is we'll take off 3 x's from both sides. That'll leave us 4y equals negative 3x plus 4. Divide all the way through by 4. That will give us y equals negative 3/4 x plus 1. 4 over 4 is 1. Now it's easy to identify the slope, negative 3/4, and the y-intercept, 0, 1. To graph, plot your y-intercept first, and from there, count off your slope down 3 over 4, plot that point, and then connect your two dots, and that will give you the graph. So if you don't have y equals mx plus b format, that's okay. Through a few algebra steps, you can isolate y, and that's when you have mx plus b or slope-intercept form.